Hi, my amazing artists. In this video, we're going to make a Wayne Thiebaud inspired gumball machine. So you're going to first take your piece of paper, put it so it's long and tall, so that it's in vertical. You are going to take your circle stencil, place it up at about roughly at the top of your paper. You don't want it way up here because you do want to leave some space, but you don't want it way down in the middle either, where you have like a whole hand above. That's too much space. So I say usually about 2-3 fingers of space above, and you are pretty good. And then place that kind of roughly in the middle, so you've got like 3 or 4 fingers on either side. Hold with your helping hand and trace around. And then put your stencil off the side. Now we're going to create this like part of the gumball machine that like connects the glass to our base. So we're just going to make like a C. And I say about 2 fingers long and a backwards letter C going the other way. And then just a curved line that comes across. You should be able to probably fit about 2 fingers inside. If you can't, then it's going to be a little bit too skinny. In this next step where we put these kind of semi-curved lines inside are going to be a little bit hard. So now that we've got that top of our gumball machine done, we're going to do the very bottom, the very base of our machine. We're going to come here and come down to almost the very bottom of my paper. Come down again on the other side. Make these about the same length, and then come straight across. We're going to make the very bottom, this line here, we want it to be about a finger's width apart. So I'm going to come here, we're going to make a finger mark here, and then just make a straight line across. We're going to make the part where the change would go, or the money. So I'm going to make 2 parallel vertical lines and make them about 3 fingers long, 2 to 3 fingers long, and about 4 fingers in between the 2. Then I'm going to make a straight line at the bottom. I'm going to make a circle about big enough to fit my eraser inside, and then 2 ovals. This is going to be the handle that turns for the money. Then I'm going to draw a big circle, and I say probably about your thumb should be able to fit in, your fingernail of your thumb should be able to fit in there. And then you can choose how many cents you're going to be. So I'm going to make mine 5 cents, and then you draw the letter C with a line down the middle, and that's the sign for cents. And then we're going to make a big frown for the gumball, like hole for the gumball to come out. So probably should be like 2 to 3 fingers wide, so you definitely know you make it big enough that your gumball can fit out of that hole. Otherwise it's going to look really skinny. Then my next step is we're going to go from here, and we're going to draw a, from this edge to about, right about here, I'm going to come across and stop and pick up my pencil. Pretend like I'm continuing to draw my line, then put it down when I get back over here, and come all the way across to the edge of the paper. I'm going to come below about 1 finger's width away, and I'm going to come from here, stop when I get to my gumball machine, lift my pencil, pretend like I'm drawing, put it back down, and draw across. This is going to help separate like our ground or our table from the wall. So now that we've got the basics of our gumball machine drawn, we are going to now draw the gumballs. We're going to use a glue stick as a stencil to help get our gumballs be all the same shape. And we're going to start with a row of gumballs at the bottom, because when you pour gumballs into a machine, they would fall to the very bottom of the machine. So we're going to take our glue stick for our stencil, place it down there, and trace around it. Now I'm not going to put it way over here. My next one's just going to go right next to it, like that, and trace around. Make sure it's touching the very bottom of my gumball machine. And I'm going to keep doing this till I have a row of gumballs. And that might be like 5 or 6 depending on where you started. So now that I have one row of gumballs, I need to make another row. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to place this kind of sitting right on top of that first gumball that I drew. And I'm just now going to make a row of gumballs that's sitting right on top of the first set of gumballs that I made. So the same step, and I'm just going to kind of go across, somewhat in a line. It's going to kind of go up and down because it's going to follow those gumballs. Then I'm going to make a third row. This is going to be our last row because, well, we're not going to fill up our gumball machine all the way. Again, you're just kind of putting them right on top of that second row, just side by side. Notice none of them are overlapping. You'll be able to see all those circles as individual circles. And I wouldn't put one here because half of the circle would go outside of my gumball. So I would stop there, and that would be my gumball machine. And there we have it. Our last and next step would be to trace with black marker. But that is the drawing of our picture. So now flip it over so we make sure we don't forget who it belonged to. Write your name and class code, which is 1H. All right, my little artists, have fun.